Hello. One of my favourite things to do is to go for a walk every single day. Since I've started doing this around about 2 months ago, I've really started to come into a sacred space, as I would like to call it, within myself. For not only is going for a daily walk a really healthy activity, both physically and mentally, but spiritually, there is a benefit to walking every single day as well. One of the main benefits I've noticed is that it's a kind of mindfulness exercise. And this mindfulness exercise really makes me feel where I am in life and how I am feeling within that particular day, what has gone on previously that morning, and what I'm looking forward to that evening. When I'm in this space, I can really see things for how they are without trying to change them. And in a sense, it's a bit like being in a movie. You can see frame by frame where you are in the picture, but you don't have to change it. You don't have to force anything. You can just take the moment for what it is. And as you're walking, you're naturally pushing yourself forward. So what I found that's really helpful to do this while going for a daily walk is to repeat daily affirmations. And these affirmations focus on improving myself and my general goals for the year and for my life. And while some of them may at first seem a bit far-fetched, they're actually starting to become more believable, especially now that I've repeated them to myself over and over. I think what's happened is naturally my subconscious has started to accept it, and it no longer sees it as, wow, that's such a crazy idea. So, for example, if you're not happy with your financial situation or your love life, then you might want to consider certain affirmations that can bring that love of your life in, or attract a particular job or a certain amount of money. Anything that will help you to feel safe and secure is no real bad thing to achieve, because ultimately, once you have your own safety needs met, it means you can start to work spiritually more on yourself without having to feel like there's anything stopping you from doing that. The Maslow triangle of needs. And this triangle of needs talks about how we have to have our safety and security met first in order to rise up. And once we have those things like food, water, shelter, then we look for family and friends, and then we look to have our educational needs met. And beyond that, we look to have our philosophical and spiritual needs met. Because ultimately, we're not just one-dimensional beings. We need all of these things to be a full person, to be a whole person. And without that, we're really dead in the water. So what we need to do, and what I found in particular is really helpful, is to focus on the spiritual work while I do my daily walk. And in this way, I've been repeating the affirmations over and over and over for around about an hour every single day. So you can imagine, if you're trying to manifest anything in your life, you need to feel relaxed and in flow with that particular energy. But you also need to get into the vibe of it. You can't just say, oh yeah, I'd like to manifest my dream house today. It needs to be a more realistic and specific outline in order to be achievable. And I suppose walking makes that achievable because we're setting our intentions, but we're also moving with that energy. So as we're walking, we're affirming it over in our minds over and again, and we start to really believe that it is happening right now. So there's no need to question it, really. We're just accepting that this is coming to us or is already happening to us. And this is what's really essential when it comes to manifesting. You've got to believe that you've already achieved it, because if you don't believe it, then you're not going to receive it. So first you have to believe, and then you shall receive. It's as easy as that, right? But we tend to complicate things. The mind has a tendency to do that. We love to go off on tangents about why we can't deserve something or we're not worthy people. And there's all kinds of boundaries in the way that we set up for ourselves, of course, that stop us from really reaching our potential. And I think the more we can break through those boundaries, the easier it will be on ourselves. And then the easier we'll find that things flow to us. So this is just one little tip that I found really helpful. And it is using my walking and the affirmations daily to help with what I'm manifesting into my life. I don't really want to give away what I'm manifesting because I believe that might sort of reduce the energy and the power. So I'm going to keep it to myself this time. But don't worry, I will share with you guys eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to share this little tip with you because I found it's really been highly beneficial for me. And I thought it might be useful for you as well. So yeah, give it a go. Let me know how you get on with walking and affirmations. Oh, and another good tip is if you struggle to believe something, try to look at the wording. If you can't accept something or if it seems too unbelievable, then really narrow it down and just start with I am willing to believe or I am willing to receive, and then enter it as whatever your goal is, whether it's dream house or a dream partner, whatever it is, just write it down. Maybe even record yourself talking about your manifestations and your affirmations and then play it back as you're walking is another tip if you don't want to necessarily recite it over and over in your head, because that might be a more beneficial way for some people, especially if they perhaps can't go for a daily walk. They could just listen to themselves over and over again, stating that their affirmations and that they've already achieved those certain things. So there's different ways you can do it. It doesn't necessarily have to do it my way to be effective. The important thing is to come from it from a genuine and authentic place. And when you can do that on a daily basis and just really relax with the affirmations, you'll find that things naturally start to flow to you. And then what seemed impossible will eventually become very possible. And you'll see it show up in your life. It might just start off as little drips at first, little bits of little chance encounters with people, or a random email out the blue from a client who you might never have thought you could ever work with, or something that the universe will give to you to conspire to make that happen. And when that does happen, you'll know you're on target with your affirmations, and your affirmations are basically becoming you. You're becoming that energy. And that's why affirmations are so powerful if you want to manifest something amazing into your life. So that's what I would recommend, walking and affirmations, because you're really getting that affirmation rolling, as you're walking. It's like exercise for the body. So you're really embodying that energy and that affirmation. And another great tip is if you can visualize while you're doing that affirmation, then it will be even more powerful. So give that a go and let me know how you get on. And yeah, happy manifesting.